This is the single most valuable item in this mod pack. But why is that? Well, it's one of the only ways to cool down. And in this mod pack, the sun's hot enough to boil water. So the average life expectancy without it is about 5 minutes. And don't worry, even if you had water, there's no life on this planet, so you'll just die of starvation instead. Okay, fine, let's imagine that you somehow got infinite food, infinite water, shade from the sun, hell, turn it nighttime and turn on peaceful mode so monsters don't spawn. Welcome to Desolate Descent.
Head trauma. This is considered an optimal outcome.
If you don't know who I am, I'm TdL, and in the past 8 months, I've accidentally created one of the hardest mod packs in existence. I just got wood. Yes! Oh my god! What? What was supposed to be a simple rework of a beloved mod pack very quickly devolved into one of the most punishing hardcore experiences. What? His arm! His head! And God forbid you take any damage, because there's no natural health regen. Don't get me wrong, it's still pretty faithful to the original, but man, it is much, much harder. Now I know you're all asking yourself the same question. How the hell did we get from this to this? Well, to answer that, we gotta go back in time to when I was 10 years old.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Sunday here, and welcome to a new mod pack.
Listen, Sunday might be farming the Among Us feet mod now, but back then, he was the YouTuber that convinced me to ask my mom for a copy of Minecraft. And he single-handedly did this by deciding to play a mod pack by the name of Crash Landing. And man, did I fucking love space.
Alright, so here we go, dudes. We're playing Crash Landing. Literally, you spawn on like an alien planet. If you were to walk for 74 days that way, you'd find nothing but dust. Here's our crashed ship. We need to survive.
I think Sunday summed it up quite well, and it really was ahead of its time in terms of how unique it was. Problem is, when you take off those rose-tinted glasses and actually play the damn thing, you realize you've been idealizing a steaming pile of shit. Now, where do we even begin? The lore. Like, I'm not even trolling. This is the lore. Ready? You're in a spaceship in space. Boom! As something blows it up. Everyone on board dies except for Steve because he's a fucking troglodyte. I mean, a tardigrade because he can just survive the vacuum of space. And of course, the only reasonable action from here is to get into an escape pod and ram it straight into the nearest planet. And you know what his reaction to all of this is? This guy just says fucking damn. Like he dropped his peanut butter and jelly sandwich on the floor face down. What about that lovely quest system? Nothing says immersive survival like your quest book handing you a rocket launcher for literally doing nothing. That's not even what pisses me off though. The ones that really get me are the seed and water reward quests. Because apparently this quest book is supposed to be like my personal helper or something.
Look, I am P-Man.
Like some grok AI, and it's just about as useful. Because only when I'm a good boy and I do my quests does it actually give me water, which means it has water and it's not giving it to me. And the ending, oh my god, I'm sure you're all ready to escape this planet in a spaceship back home. Nope. Are you stupid? You make an end cake, you fight a fucking dragon, and you pray that it doesn't fly out of render distance. Oh, it flew out of render distance. Bad RNG. Your 200-hour Minecraft world is now soft locked. Game of the year at 1348. And that's how the story ends. Or doesn't. Which is why I couldn't just leave it like this. I mean, it has so much potential. It just needs someone stupid enough to try fixing it. In the beginning, my quote-unquote fix was relatively simple. I just wanted to modernize the pack. And that started with Steve. For some reason, in old versions of Minecraft, there's like an issue with the skin rendering API thingy. My solution was to add Lumi's skin patch, and now you can see your own skin in the game. But it still didn't really feel right. I mean, sure, I can have my fanboy skin on, but I mean, I didn't really feel like I was on an alien planet or anything. So as one does, I went around the dark web, looking at like YouTube videos with 2.5 views.
Download Optifine 1.6.4. Jeez.
And I stumbled across these sketchy MediaFire links. I downloaded something called like Shaders Modcore. But miraculously, this actually worked, even if my PC is now a Chinese crypto miner. But I honestly don't know if it even matters. I mean, look at the difference this makes. It looks great, and it's just that much more immersive. But of course, that was only the cosmetic side of things. It still played like shit. So I got to work on that quest system. Yeah, so I deleted that rocket launcher quest. But I actually kept most of the quests the same, outside of fixing the occasional grammar error. But there was one thing I was gonna do. I was fixing that fucking ending. So long story short, I vaulted the Ender Cake, just straight up removed its recipe entirely. And in its place, I made 2 separate endings for Crash Landing. The first was just staying here and bringing life back to the world. But the second was a proper ending, the good ending if you will. I added a quest that gave coordinates to the player to a city a couple thousand blocks away that had a built-in physical end portal. So the idea now was that when you felt prepared enough to beat the game, you had to go on this super risky voyage across this barren wasteland for thousands of blocks, fight your way through the city of eldritch horrors, and then beat the dragon. It's super exciting, something you look forward to, but also dread at the same time. And I think it's exactly, from a storytelling perspective anyway, what the main character, you, needs. Because imagine a movie like The Martian, right? It's this great movie where an astronaut gets stuck on Mars. And if you think about it, it's basically Crash Landing. You get stuck on this desolate planet with no survival chance. I mean, all you really have going for you is like the remnants of this habitat here. And they both kind of path out in the same way. I mean, you gotta salvage what you can. You gotta find a way to make food, water. And it's just this great experience overall. But now we get into the ending. And the way it ends is he has to travel like thousands of kilometers. It's this super risky voyage that he's probably gonna die on, but it's the only way he can get off the planet. Now imagine instead of that, this motherfucker whips out a cookbook, starts baking a cake. Like sure, maybe this would work in a Disney movie, but this is a sci-fi movie. This is a sci-fi mod pack. You can't just bake a cake to end the whole thing. Of course, we still had that dragon softlock situation going on. But with some quick thinking, I just opened up a vanilla 1.6.4 world, generated the end, copied the entire dimension folder into the mod pack, and boom, you actually spawn on a full end island now. This also had the added effect of making the dragon not go out of render all the time. So hey, the mod pack's actually beatable now. Congrats, man, I did it. And boom, just like that, the mod pack already felt brand new. On the surface, it was perfect, but under the hood, this thing was held together with duct tape and prayers. You could tell it was a patchwork job. The mod pack was already unstable as it was. This just made it slightly worse. The quest still had logic issues. The whole lore was an issue in of itself. This is about when I came to the realization that I was trying to be too faithful to Crash Landing. So I tried starting from scratch on the original version, the 1.6.4, and that was a total mistake. I knew it was unstable and I still built upon it, so I kind of had this coming. But one day, the mod pack just stopped working, like entirely. And I know it sounds like I'm just brushing past this, but I actually did lose like 300 hours. So much that I can't even get into it. It would ruin the flow of the video. So just pretend this never happened. It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna start over. We're gonna start over on 1.7.10. Now you'd think this would be pretty devastating news, having me on my knees sobbing. But not I. For what I saw was just more power to do whatever the hell I wanted. And so, Desolate Descent was born. Now unburdened by the shackles of faithful adaptations, my first order as king was to execute the lore. Because lore is like the foundation of a house. Whatever you decide to build on top of it will only be as strong as the foundation you set. So I got to work. I probably spent over 50 hours on this alone. But man, was it worth it. Here's what I came up with. The year is 2730, and our story follows an industrial giant. It's home to massive mining operations, fueling off-world industries. This is achieved through Enderium portals. That's right, Mojang lied to you. They're actually used to teleport goods to distant planets. Truly a technological marvel, but also one not fully understood. But of course, many planets now rely solely on this tech to survive. A disaster waiting to happen. 2 years later, a routine shipment of ore from planet 4547A fails to arrive back on. When the next shipment is also missed, a team of engineers is quickly scraped together and sent to the planet on a recovery vessel in a desperate attempt to get it quickly back up and running. And you are one of the lead engineers on board. This is when the events of this mod pack occur. Now keep in mind, I left a ton of details out to keep this short, but this is beautiful. Most of the world makes perfect sense now. There's no stupid plot holes. And with a solid foundation, we can now get to the actual gameplay. For starters, I updated the game version to 1.7.10, far more stable than 6.4, but not too new in order to keep some of that old school Minecraft feel. As for the mod lineup, it looked mostly the same to the original Crash Landing, with a few key add-ons. Introducing the Meteor mod, tech guns, custom NPCs, an array of different ambience mods that included a music mod, which I'm working on with my music composers to get a soundtrack for. But the most important one, Galacticraft. I know guys, revolutionary. There's spaceships and a mod pack about crashing on a planet in a spaceship. Wow. And between you and me, I kind of removed the oxygen from the surface. We just straight up coated it out. So on top of regulating your body temperature, now you have to deal with limited oxygen. Sorry, but not really. It's cool as fuck. I mean, come on. But don't worry about that. It's fine. Let's talk world building instead, because it didn't come out of the box like this. I used the mod Biome Tweaker to change the Minecraft you all know and love into Desolate Descent. And don't ask how long this took. I don't want to talk about it. Once I had the config set up, I generated a pretty seed and spent some time looking around for a nice place for the crash site. I found this small hill with a nice view of the area, and I got to work. I first spent some time carving out the crash path, and then got to work on the shuttle. I used the basic layout of the original crash landing shuttle, just making it bigger to accommodate for some of the high-tech life systems you'll need, most notably your fluid transposer, glacial precipitator, and oxygen systems, which is the bare minimum to keep you alive in this mod pack. And this is also the location where you fill up your oxygen tanks. Oh yeah, by the way, if any of these machines break, you're dead, so don't do that. Then came some final touches, some meteor impacts nearby, loot crates scattered around, and just like that, we had our first POI on the map, dubbed the crash site. And before doing anything else, I also finished up the quest system for this area. And so progression at the crash site basically lasts from your first day until you get your first iron ingot. And again, I'm leaving out a lot of details because I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but this is around the time where you'll get coordinates for the next POI. Sector 7B. This is when the difficulty really starts to ramp up. Located about a kilometer into the Scorch is what remains of a small mining outpost. Here you'll find a bunch of useful resources, equipment, and tech crucial to progression. But this ain't no walk in the park. For starters, the trek there will take about 4 minutes, using around 30% of your oxygen. Oh, no problem then. I'll just run in, get all the stuff, and get out as fast as I can. No, you won't. This POI requires stealth, courtesy of the mobs that reside here. Meet the Ashwalker, a blind but strong monstrosity. It only has a sight detection range of about 4 blocks, but if you're careless enough to bump into one of them, you're probably gonna die. They're really strong, yet avoidable through caution. But they're not the only creature here. Meet the Ashling, A squishy but problematic critter. Sure, they only have 10 HP, but they're not blind, and you gotta watch out for that bite. Ashlings apply 2 minutes of slowness 2 on hit. It's not fatal on its own, I mean these guys won't kill you, but they can quickly cause problems down the line. You'll be less mobile, more susceptible to other mobs, and you probably won't make it back in time before your oxygen runs out. Assuming you don't die, progression carries farther into metallurgy, long-term survival, and early galacticraft, your way off this planet. But you don't have the tech to leave just yet, and your quest to escape leads you to the next major POI, Helion City. This is likely where most of your runs will end, but maybe you survive the march on the gates. Destroy the turrets. And squeak on in. Maybe you escape the clutches of the Shade Walkers. Avoid the one-shotting stalkers. The acid vomiting spitters. But how far will your luck go before it runs out? And I know you're thinking, yeah, TDL, it's hard, we know. But hey, I was never a fan of pointless difficulty. So at Helion, you'll find cool tech like jetpacks, advanced weaponry, and alien terrors buried deep underground. If you manage to bring it down, you'll be rewarded with a crucial crafting material used in the NASA workbenches. So progression at Helion will see you go through advanced machinery, composite material manufacturing, and late galacticraft, ultimately resulting in the ability to craft your first rocket. By this point, you're so close to getting back home, but one thing stands in your way of freedom. And then it hits you. You've connected the dots. She's protecting the planet. Nothing comes in or out while she's alive. And so your quest for escape leads you to the ruins of Soulgate City. It's another brutal 2.5 kilometer trek. There's very little resources beyond this point, so once you leave, there's no turning back, and there's only really 2 outcomes from here. You survive the game of hide and seek between you, the 12 Eyes of Ender scattered throughout the city, and the creatures that lurk behind every corner. You gain access to the portal room. Use the Eyes of Ender that you found. Kill the dragon. Pick up the dragon egg, which is the final crafting component you need to escape. And go home, or you die alone on 47A. And yeah, that's what I've been doing for like the past 6 months. It's not quite ready enough to release, but it's in a good spot for playtesting, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be playtesting this absolute unbalanced monstrosity on stream. Wait, guys, I don't think there's natural region. Whoopsies. There's nowhere else you can find this. You might as well just go follow the stream right now. Go to my Discord, check out my live streams, and as soon as it's done and semi-balanced, I'll release it to you guys. I just locked myself outside. Oh my. No, I just. Okay, it's fine. I don't need to go inside anyway.